Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We've got our morning Q&A and our devotional. Shelly's got some questions from people that sent them in, so if you have a question, you can send it in.
Yeah.
What are we working on today, Shelly?
Today I have a question. What have you experienced that has been helpful in giving young adults / college students a passion for Jesus and prayer?
How to get young adults / college students a passion for prayer. Yeah, it's interesting because I lead a 24/7 worship and prayer ministry, and I teach prayer, but it's not the main thing I teach. I actually mostly teach intimacy. And so there's a couple biblical themes that call people into a desire for prayer. And I'd say the big one is the knowledge of God, right? So if you have this large thought, knowledge of God, and then underneath that thought, you have intimacy with God, who God is as the Father, who God is as the bridegroom. You have the majesty and the beauty of God, thinking about the throne room and the glory of God. So the majesty and the beauty of God. So intimacy, the majesty and the beauty of God, and then the attributes and the character of God. Those things, because God is so magnetic to us. He's magnetic to our frame, right? Yes. The more we know Him, the more we're drawn to Him. The reason why we're repelled from Him is because we have a bad image of who He is. And so what I found is when young adults actually see God, when they get a little glimpse of Him, when they get a little glimpse of His love, of His beauty, of His majesty, they're drawn into want to know Him more. And that is easily expressed through worship and prayer. So the other thing is engage young adults and college students in worship, because worship and intercession are 1 inch from one another, right? So worship is we're looking at Him, declaring the wonder of who He is, the greatness of who He is. And intercession is we're finding out what He cares about and asking Him to do it. We're agreeing with His desires. Worship is we say, you're amazing. Intercession is do what you want to do. And so those two kind of things, they work right hand in hand. So get them in the presence of the Lord. In the knowledge of who He is, then get them in the presence of the Lord, and it calls them into the place of prayer and to worship. They get passionate, hungry for God. It's really probably every young adult's experience. You could maybe speak to this, that when God begins to reveal Himself to you, it captures you and you want to spend time with Him.
Yes.
I know your story, so just share like a little what happened to you.
Yeah, I finally, I just encountered God in a way that I never have. And really found out His attributes through Song of Solomon class.
Song of Solomon, I remember that, yeah.
And so intimacy with the Lord, and it was finding out His real attributes. And now I really want to pray. I really want to intercede. I'm like, God, you care? So I'm going to ask you for your will to be done because I trust you. So.
And you were telling me the other day, like, you've got so much faith.
Yeah.
Because you know He loves you. You know He cares about you, and He's listening.
Yeah.
And He wants to answer.
Right.
Yeah, it's powerful. Knowledge of God, beauty, majesty, intimacy, glory of God, attributes of God. It'll call people into wanting to worship and pray. Amen.
Amen.
Have a good one, guys.